I started feeling discomfort.
And I remember thinking to myself, did I make a mistake with this? And I'm wondering if they could put my teeth back in. For a moment, I felt real fear.
Pain is one of the biggest fears people have about getting dental implants. Could it be worse than the pain that you're already living with? Well, today, Ken is here to reveal the truth from what he felt during his procedure to the hours following.
And I'm not holding back. I will tell you everything.
Ken, let's dive in. Ken, before we get into what you experienced during surgery and recovery, how much pain or discomfort were your teeth causing you before getting dental implants?
It was, as there was a lot of discomfort, made things very difficult for me, especially as far as eating, because I was missing especially my two front teeth. So it made things harder to eat, and it made things a little rough. It was not very comfortable at all eating like that. A little embarrassing too at times.
Oh, I bet. I mean, having missing teeth certainly is going to make eating more difficult. And
Yes.
when you can't eat, I'm sure you were limited in what you could eat
Imagine trying to eat a sub sandwich, and instead of just trying
because
to
you had
sit.
no front teeth. You couldn't eat anything like like take a normal bite.
Exactly.
What were some of the thoughts that were going through your mind about the pain or the discomfort that you might experience with a dental implant surgery? Were you at all scared?
I was hesitant, um, because I really did not know what I was getting into before learned as I was going along with this. I really wondered if it was for me, if I could handle the pain, how much pain there was going to be, how uncomfortable it was going to be, and how long it would all last.
That makes sense because one thing is the immediate surgery that you're going to go through and any pain or discomfort you're going to feel then. But then there's the question of, well, how long is that going to last? Am I ever going to feel normal again?
Yes, and it made me really worry about if it would have been worth getting, and if I could even handle it.
Wow. Well, I know that you went and had your surgery at Nuvia. When you went in for the consultation before your surgery, did the doctors or the staff there, help you understand what to expect when it came to pain and surgery?
Yes, I had a lot of people talk to me, and it seemed like it wasn't going to be that much, wasn't going to be too much of a problem, that I would be very well taken care of. Even though I was very hesitant about the whole thing, the doctor made me feel very comfortable and put me in a good spot and to go forward with this.
Well, we're here to find out what happened. So let's go forward, as you said. And I want you to walk me through exactly what happened on surgery day. When you walked into the center, what were you feeling? What was going through your head? And what happened that day?
I was very nervous, but not in a bad way. I was excited because I knew what was coming. I knew what was going to happen afterwards, and that I would be able to eat food normally again, and that I wouldn't be able to hide my face. I felt very good about what was going to happen.
Let me ask you the question I know inquiring minds are tuning in for today. How did you feel during the actual procedure? Did you feel any pain or discomfort?
I felt nothing. I went to sleep, basically had a nice long nap, and and then I came to, and it felt like a very nice long nap.
You literally felt nothing.
Yes.
Did you hear anything? You didn't feel any sensations? Nothing. You literally took a nice, long, hibernating kind of nap.
Exactly. I was told, from Nuvia, that I would just go to sleep and it'd be a nice long nap, where in that other companies might not do the same thing. So that was very reassuring for me.
What about when you woke up? What did you feel at first? Any pain? Did you feel numbness? Were you feeling relieved? What was going through your head when you woke up?
I was pretty groggy. Uh, things didn't look or feel real to me. Like I was still kind of in a dreamlike state. I was not really in any pain. Um, it wasn't really discomfort either. I know it felt weird because the tongue likes to explore, and so my tongue was just like all over inside my mouth.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I feel like if someone is listening right now, you're painting a picture that isn't so scary. Pain is something a lot of people fear with any sort of dental procedure,
Yes,
especially dental implants. But so far on your journey, I'd say so far so good. Yeah.
yes, this was definitely by far head and shoulders above any other experience I've had with the dentist or doctors or anything. This was by far nothing really compares to it.
Wow. So that actually means a lot. What you're saying is this full-on dental implant procedure actually felt more comfortable and less painful or less uncomfortable than some of the more routine things you've had done, like some drilling, some basic cavity filling, some patchwork stuff.
Yes. Yes.
That's hard to believe. I'm not gonna lie, I'm over here a little skeptical. That's a little hard to believe, to be honest.
Yeah, this was by far head and shoulders above anything I've ever had to deal with.
One thing that I know a lot of people have concerns about, other than pain, is the cost of this procedure. So, do you mind if I ask if getting put to sleep was any sort of like additional cost?
No, there wasn't. Nuvia is all inclusive, and everything is included in what I was, in the price. Um, and if you have any questions about price, there is a price guide available. You can click on the link down below, and it will take you and guide you through the whole process.
Okay, so you woke up from the surgery feeling a little groggy, little disoriented, no pain or discomfort immediately. Walk me through what happened the rest of that evening after surgery.
Okay, so I went back to my hotel room and I had several protein shakes ready for me if I needed something to drink. I had my ice ready for me to take care of the swelling. So I was very well prepped that night. So and I was pretty strict with the ice. I kept the ice on my face, going back and forth, and for like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Take it off, get a little break. I had pain medication to help me deal with it, and so that was also very helpful. And the protein shakes I had, if I got hungry or thirsty or anything like that, that was to help satiate any feelings that I had with that. I also had a very weird moment where I was sitting on the couch and I started feeling discomfort, a little bit of discomfort. It wasn't bad, but it was enough for me to be annoyed. And I remember thinking to myself, did I make a mistake with this? And I'm wondering if they could put my teeth back in. And I had all kinds of weird thoughts like, oh, maybe they already gave it to the tooth fairy. Maybe it was just crazy. So I had stuff like that going through my head, and I'm looking back, I'm sort of thinking, man, maybe I should just put the TV on and distracted myself that way, so I wouldn't have had like all these strange thoughts.
Can you compare that discomfort to maybe an everyday pain that someone else, may have experienced? Like, was it similar to like a headache, a sore muscle, like a toothache? Was it a sharp stabbing discomfort? Was it, I don't know. Can you describe that discomfort so that maybe someone listening
Um,
could say, oh, okay, I get that. I understand what he's saying.
it's kind of hard to describe it. I know it wasn't a stabbing pain or anything that was just it could really be associated with pain, but at the same time, um, if anything, maybe a sore muscle or a little throbbing a little bit. But it didn't hurt or anything like that. It was just annoying, and that's where my thought of them putting the teeth back in my mouth kind of came from.
Almost like in that moment, can they just put the teeth back in and we'll just, like, rewind, right? Because no one
Yeah,
ever wants to feel any type of discomfort. I mean, let's be real.
exactly.
Well, w at the place you went to, you were actually getting permanent teeth the very next day, right? Not
Mhm.
temporary teeth?
Yes, they were permanent.
Okay, so let's talk about what happened when you woke up the next morning and you went back to the center and you got those teeth. Did you have any fear, that morning that it would hurt for them to put those teeth in and have them placed so soon after surgery? And what did that feel like? Did it hurt?
There was no pain, there was no discomfort. Just and that was also surreal to me too, that it wouldn't even be like that.
That it would be not that bad or that it would be happening so fast in
Both,
24 hours?
both. That would not be that bad, and that was there in 24 hours.
Right? Because I think a lot of people question Nuvia's 24-hour procedure and how can that happen so fast? And doesn't our body need time to heal? Wouldn't that maybe hurt because you just had surgery? I think those are a lot of questions people have. Did you have
Exactly.
any of
I
those que
I took that all in, because it felt so surreal. I was like, "Wow, this really is happening." I mean, even today, it still seems like it's, uh, unreal that that happened, but it did, and, I'm living proof of that happened.
And for anybody listening on the audio version, I'm sitting across from Ken, right, through our podcast setup, and his teeth are beautiful, like, absolutely beautiful. They fit your face so nicely. If you didn't tell me you had dental implants, I would never have guessed it. So, your smile is so beautifully crafted to you.
Yes.
How long ago did you have this procedure done?
I am coming up on my 2nd year, I think in the 1st week of April. I'm at 'em for 2 years now.
Can I just say I'm glad it didn't hurt you? I
Yeah.
mean, no one wants to ever be in pain, but I think with any procedure, we know there may be some pain and it's different for everybody, but I mean, you
Yes.
just don't know, right? And everybody's different.
Exactly. I followed the doctor's recommendations and the instructions to a T the night after I had my teeth extracted. So I made sure that any future problems would not happen. It would not be on my part. So there was no, yeah, there really wasn't too much to go on. And even the next day, it was nothing. It was amazing. And you see people sometimes with a lot of bruising. Me, just the corners of my mouth. That's it.
Oh, it looked like you just had a blueberry popsicle, huh?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yes.
Well, you brought up something very interesting, and that was you followed the doctor's orders.
Yes.
So, share with me the doctor's orders and, if you did have any swelling that first night.
Well, I was given some painkillers, and I was told to keep an ice pack on my face for 15 minutes at a time. And so I did that, and 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, then take a little break. Not long though, but enough for my face to heat back up again. And then 15 minutes again, 15 minutes again. And I did that over and over and over again so that the swelling and maybe the bruising and all the other stuff would not be as horrendous. So I really paid attention. And like I said, and just the soups and protein drinks.
Did you experience any pain when you were having those protein drinks that first night or eating that soup? Was there any pain that first night associated with
None at all. Not at all.
Okay. Walk me through the next few days or weeks of your recovery. You had your surgery, you
Yeah.
went back 24 hours later, you got your permanent teeth
Yes.
installed. You said there was no real pain or discomfort there. What
Yes.
happened the next few days or weeks? Did any sort of painful feelings develop? Any discomfort that was long lasting? What did that look like?
There was things felt a little tight every once in a while. I think that was just readjusting, my mouth readjusting to the teeth. The one thing that happened, because my tongue had all the freedom in the world in there, is that my tongue it felt tight in my mouth. So I had to readjust that, and I would find myself biting my tongue every so often. So I'd be getting, and just, uh, so that would catch me off guard once in a while, and eventually my tongue got used to it, and of course there was the lisping, and because I did do some talking for internet radio, I think my lisp was gone a lot quicker than I think a normal person would have had to deal with. So
Wow.
I had to practice talking, and
Wow. Did you have any pain with talking or, like, learning how to talk again or anything like that?
no, there was no pain with talking. It was just practicing, and that's really what it is.
Well, another question that I think many people have is about eating. And you mentioned the very first night after surgery, you handled protein shakes and soup very well. What about eating now that you're into your recovery, maybe a week or two out? What are you eating? And is there any pain associated with that? Is anything causing discomfort there?
I was pretty strict with that as well. I would eat things that, of course, with the plastic fork rule. So I knew things had to be very soft, and sometimes you got to be a little creative with things as well. I know growing up, I used to eat a lot of corned beef hash, and that, of course, is very soft. So I would get my meats in that way.
Sounds like you were eating not just liquid foods, you were eating some solid foods too?
Yes, yes, as long as it was real soft, but it was still solid. It wasn't like I was going out and having steaks or corn on the cob or anything like that, but it was, or I wasn't just eating Jello with soup. You can find softer foods that are a little solid.
So even though you got permanent teeth 24 hours after surgery, the doctor cleared you not just to do a liquid diet, you were able to eat soft foods. And as
Yes,
you mentioned, anything that you could cut kind of with a plastic fork.
yes,
Well, that's great. And you didn't have any pain or discomfort when you were eating?
none, none,
Wow.
none whatsoever. On the Smile Maker Club, every now and then we'll get people who are like, "Well, I don't want to deal with that for 4 months if I had to eat soft foods." My thought is this: I can deal with 4 months of soft foods if I can go ahead and start having steaks every night and be able to eat a sub normally, or to be able to eat the things that, if I was going to keep going where I was, would not have. I'd probably have less teeth by now. I would not be able to enjoy the things. I'd probably just be eating cotton candy all the time. So, uh, the reality is 4 months in the long scheme of things is nothing compared to after that 4 months, then it's game on.
Game on. Well, let's talk about after those 4 months. It's now been almost 2 years. How does your mouth feel now? How would you compare any pain or discomfort you were feeling, right, after the surgery to before you even got this done? Like, talk to me about then versus now.
Now, my situation was a little weird for me in the last because shortly after I got my teeth, I was diagnosed with lung cancer. So while before I started the treatments, everything felt really fine. There was no problems. Uh, I was eating peanuts, chips, steak, corn on the cob, and everything like that. And even after the treatments, I was doing quite well. But during the treatments, sometimes you can get mouth sores,
Oh, yes.
and I was actually also very fortunate with the fact that my mouth sores really did not affect anywhere underneath in between my gums and my teeth. Things were on the side or around my tongue or at the top of my mouth. So I was pretty fortunate, but my mouth got very sensitive. And I kept
Mm.
waiting for something like that to happen in between. And so I got a very I was very cautious with that as well. I kind of went so to a soft food diet again for a short bit just in case. So there was that I had to consider. But otherwise, other than that, going through that, um, I've had no problems whatsoever.
I'm really sorry to hear, what you went through with cancer. Cancer is such a scary thing that is unfortunately becoming more and more prevalent in our world and in our society. So, my heart goes out to you because that is a scary thing to deal with. On top of that, any sort of treatment that you're getting, if it's good and beneficial as a treatment, sometimes it's really hard on our bodies too. So to have gone through that and to have experienced some side effects because of that, I know must have been so hard for you.
And I look at it that I was very fortunate that I had some things going for me. First off, it was caught very early, and nowadays things are so much better than what they were even 10 years ago. So I didn't have to worry. I felt like I was in pretty good hands. The treatments, though, on the other hand, kind of did not go too well in my favor right now because I'm still dealing with a little bit of damage on the inside here with the treatments. But and it kind of changed. It changed some things that the way I look at deal with things. But as far as if any of that affected my smile or not, or my teeth or my eating, no. No, I could still. I mean, the soft food diet was self-imposed because of the
Mm.
mouth sores, because I didn't want to deal with the, you know, uh, annoying my mouth, and then maybe annoying anything in between. So I
Right.
wanted to be smart about this, and that seemed to work because I don't have the mouth sores anymore, and those went away. They didn't last very long. So it was, when you're going through something like that, you have to kind of, you know, think about this too.
Yeah. You had
So
to kind of teeter around not knowing what was going to
yes,
happen.
yes,
But it's like, I need you to take a bite out of this cancer, right? Like, your
yes,
teeth are so strong, they're so durable, they're gonna last you a lifetime. We need
yes,
to just take a bite out of this cancer and send just well wishes into the universe that your body
yes,
can fight this.
yes. I've been pretty fortunate with everything. So, getting a new smile, getting a second lease on life, and then dealing with this, and even dealing with the situation now that I still, you know, I think everything's been going quite well considering. So
Well, speaking of things going quite well, in the last 2 years, leading up to now, have there been any other appointments that you've had to go to, like, get different sets of teeth, or are these teeth the same teeth you got the day after surgery, your permanent teeth?
these are the same teeth,
Okay,
cleaning.
because you were a travel patient, right?
Yes,
Okay, so that's
yes,
important to share. So, as a travel patient, you traveled for the procedure and then
yes,
you got your permanent teeth the next day. You
yes,
were able to do a 4-month appointment over Zoom,
yes.
and then you went back for a 1-year appointment. Anything painful at that appointment?
Not at all. Not at all. That was as smooth as could be. No pain, no discomfort, nothing. It was a piece of cake.
Well, it seems like overall, you have never described your experience with getting dental implants as being painful. If anything, more of a little bit of a discomfort at times, especially that first night after surgery, a little bit of discomfort. Do you feel like that level of discomfort was worth the experience and worth this transformation?
Oh goodness, yes. Yes, it was worth it all. There's no doubt in my mind, because now when I'm smiling, I'm not doing this, because that was a habit of mine.
For those of you listening on the audio version, covering
Yes,
his face is what he's
yes.
doing. I don't have to do that anymore. Yep.
It took me a little while to get out of the habit because I was still doing that. So yeah, it was more than worth it. I would do it again if I had to, but thank God I don't.
Right? This
Yeah,
is one and done, move on with your life is what it is,
exactly.
right? So, Ken, if someone is scared, and I know many people are, right, about what they think the pain will be like during this procedure, what would you tell them?
I know everyone has a different pain tolerance, but for me, it wasn't all that bad. It's nothing than what I had built up in my head.
I think that's what everybody was hoping to hear during this time together. So I'm really glad. If you want more information about the same procedure that Ken had done, there is a link in the description below for a free cost and information guide. You can download that and learn more about this procedure. And until next time,